Okay, hey everybody. Live. I've been in, I've been in pain, you know, a long time. And I've been working out. I got little knots in all my muscles from just years and years and years of physical abuse. I did, some own abuse. I did gymnastics and stuff. It's not like I really ever fell per se doing that. But my tendons, my, what you got? The lymphatic system, everything. Even these little, the pain right there. It's right there. Burning like, like, but I've been working out everything, trying. Not everything, but mm, it hurts. But it's the only way to make it stop hurting. This particular kind of pain, you gotta make it hurt to make it stop hurting because it's already hurting from being all knotted up, all seized up, no nutrients getting to the cells. Oh, that can allow all kinds of free radicals and stuff on inside, outside, on your skin. You have to think about these things if you want to be healthy. I want to be healthy. That the lymphatic system gets clogged up, just like your toilet can get clogged up. And then what happens? Everything backs up. That's what happens. Your lymphatic system, that is one of the most important systems in your body that most people neglect, the lymphatic system. When you be pressing in somewhere and it hurts, there's a reason that it hurts. People say, well, don't press there then. Well, why? My question is, why does it hurt when I press there? You know, where you be like stressing about something and you'll like reach over, grab your arm, whatever, and then, or you just have a dull ache. You reach over, you start to feel something, and then it really hurts. Um, well, don't push there. Well, tell me why it hurts there and what to do about it, because that's why I'm telling you. It hurts when I push there. It's what it is. Inside your body's complex. You've got tubes running all through your body. Some carry blood, platelets, all kinds of stuff everywhere, including through your muscles, everything. Cells connect to each other. When you're in pain, like right there, I can feel that shifting. This is the one that got hurt real bad when me and Crystal got into it. My sister, my older sister, Crystal and I, she thought she gonna start slapping me. she she truly thought that she she can start slapping me. She was she was mad about something. What was she mad about? It didn't even make any difference. No matter how mad you are, that does not ever give you the right to start hitting at all. And I have to admit that I did that to Black. Eventually, at the end, after a couple of years of him beating on me, finally, in the end, I started punching him. And and not because he was hitting me anymore, but because he would say things that, but I only punched him like 2 or 3 times. Who else did I punch? Anyway, all that being said, thought you were slapping me. Who was I talking about? Oh, yet again, slapping me. Crystal, my sister, mad. We hadn't seen each other in a really long time, 28 years. We'd talked a few times, but we hadn't seen each other. So I'm living with her. It's a long story how I got to that point and how long I'd been there at this point where she started slapping me. Man, I grabbed a hold of her. Girl, you not, no, no, no. You're not going to walk up and start slapping me because, wait, what was it she told me? She gonna walk up and slap me? Girl, you are not gonna walk up and slap me and think I'm not gonna do something. Am I gonna slap you back? No, no. I'm not gonna slap you back. Maybe if it was a reaction, because sometimes you can have a automatic reaction, especially those of us who've been trained in the military to have automatic reactions. That's why people who use karate, tai chi, anything like that, when you repetition over and over doing something, that's why it works, karate and everything else. As soon as somebody does something, then you have an automatic response. That's why the police should not have an automatic response to kill people with a gun. Our security forces, our security system, the people that are there to protect whatever themselves, ourselves, should not be trained in murder as a solution for anything ever. You will never stop violence with violence. It's not the way it works. And that's not the creator's instructions anyway. Why people become violent in the first place? I don't know. Cain killed Abel. At least that's what I heard. Jealousy? I don't know. I think it was more than jealousy. When the creator of everything, God, and there's a bunch of questions surrounding this, but chose favorites. God chose Abel's sacrifice. We're not even getting into this right now. Are we really? Because I have to pull up the Bible. Did Abel, the lamb, what is it, a lamb? What was it a sacrifice or was it a first fruits? Because in the Bible, when you gave your first fruits every 3 year, every 3 years, first fruits, 10%, take it to the priest, whoever, and they store it, your first fruits, your 10% of your first whatever, the 10%. You bring it to the storehouse, and that with everybody else's 10% that they're given is distributed to the poor it is to maintain the pastors, the people, the preachers, the whoever is taking care of the poor people with the 10%. That's what it's about. That's exactly what it's about. I'm the person doing the distributing, don't get paid. It's not like that. It's not like that at all. First fruits, Cain and Abel. So, what was the first fruits? I mean, was this something that, so if Cain's first fruits or Cain's 10% or whatever, bounty, the thankfulness to God was what? What did he bring? Fruits and vegetables? Fruits? Did he have fruits? Was it just vegetables? Ah, my nose itches. Um, Fruits, vegetables, whatever. So what happens? What was God gonna do with the first fruits? See, this is where I'm confused. When did the first, okay, we know when the first animal sacrifice was. Now, of course, we're all going by, the basic instructions before living eternally, before leaving Earth. We're not leaving Earth. We're going to die, turn back into dust. Everyone does. You think that you have a soul, you have a spirit inside of you that when you die goes somewhere, you say, leaves the earth, goes to a spirit realm, because the earth is a physical world, the spiritual world, the invisible world, that world can become physical. All right, so all that. Cain killed Abel because God chose Abel's sacrifice. Was it a if God had accepted, chosen. It's not really chosen. Chose Abel's over Cain's. Chose. Nope. How about accepted? Isn't that really more what it's supposed to be? That um, God accepted Abel's, what is it? A sacrifice? A thank you? A first fruits? So say Cain had a good countenance, whatever. I have a reason why I think they're saying it doesn't matter. So let's just say that God did go ahead and accept Cain's first fruits or sacrifice or whatever, did accept it. What does God do with the sacrifice, the first fruits? Is this where Abel killed a sheep? How? Drained all the blood? What? How did his sacrifice work? And what was the purpose in it? At what point did they begin sacrificing? Because that's the first thing we hear about a sacrifice. Cain killed Abel because God accepted Abel's sacrifice, but not Cain's, because Cain had an attitude. When did God tell them to go, or tell them they had to bring a first fruit or a sacrifice? What are they sacrificing for their sins? And if so, when does the creator, or when does the God of that book tell them that? Tell them that they're having to give a sacrifice because they're sinners now. And now there's nothing going to happen for uh, the remission of sins until what? 2000, how many years? Whatever. And they're saying that God knew this from the beginning, that we were going to be sinners. We were going to need a sacrifice. Why? What's up with the God of that book? Because the God in that book seems like has, I don't know, a lack of imagination. So we were created in the imagination of God, in the image of, what's an image? What's it? It make no image, no graven image, image, imagination, image. All right. So we're back to crystals, back to Cain and Abel, back to God did the first murder, murdered the two animals, remember? Skinned them alive, and then draped the bloody mess, or the bloody what? The bloody pelts, the bloody skins, the bloody mess on them. Just what? Do you think that the God of that book, like what? Because then we got to go back to when when Adam and Eve knew God. Well, I apparently always knew God, but there's just so many freaking things that don't make no sense with their story, you know. Um, Adam and Eve knew God according to the book by hearing God walking through the garden and speaking. This means that they did not know that God is invisible but can become visible. They only knew the part about God being visible, right? Do we know that God can become visible? There's a lot of people running around today that don't think God does miracles anymore. They don't believe that God speaks to people anymore. Well, that's because that's that God, that God of that book that is a violent creation. The God of that book is a violent creation, is the only way it can be said, because that's not the creator of everything. The creator of everything wants love, peace, patience, joy, long suffering, goodness, kindness, understanding, generosity, the Beatitudes, be good, be whatever. That's the creator of everything, right? Who can deny that? Who is saying that the creator of everything likes violence? Because the creator, the created God, the God that was created in that book is vengeful, is um giving people knowledge of good and evil and then blaming them for having it because of a disobedience of something that they don't understand. How could Adam and Eve possibly have ever understood anything? They experienced nothing. Well, they can't talk to each other about the past because there ain't no past. They can't talk to each other about the future because they don't know nothing about anything. They don't need a plan. There ain't none of that stuff going on. So for the book to say Adam and Eve ate a piece of fruit from a tree that their eyes were open. Well, we have a problem with that part too because it says that um, Adam and Eve ate. It's not possible. It's not possible that they ate. Oh, yeah. God said they would die. Remember? In the day you eat, you surely shall die. In the day, not the week after, not 1,000 years down the line after you've been suffering and suffering and suffering and suffering, then you're going to die. I mean, isn't that the real truth? That in the day you eat, you surely shall die. First, they don't even know what death is. What's death? What is die? How can you explain death? Explain death to a 4-year-old without a 4-year-old ever experiencing it. And the day you eat it, you'll die. Well, what kind of okay, let's eat it and die. Well, what do they care? None of that crap makes any sense. They want us to sit here and absolutely believe that that is the truth beyond a reasonable doubt, beyond a shadow of a doubt. They truly, really, y'all, it does not make any kind of sense. And what did the God in that book create adults or children? Did the God of that book create adults with prior language, prior knowledge, at the very least, how to speak to each other and to God? They were speaking, right? Which kind of an odd thing, because you got so many Neanderthal kind of stuff going on right now, saying that people weren't able to actually begin writing things down, communicating with each other, coming up with the language. So we have two opposing views here. We got the Neanderthals with Adam and Eve. We have we have a Adam and Eve. Forgot what I was saying. This can go here. These things are really awesome. You just do that. Adam and Eve. Oh, yeah, that's what I was going to say. Adults. In order for that book to have any kind of way that it's true at all, God would have had the God in that book. See, I don't call the creator of everything God. When I speak of God, I am not speaking of the creator of everything. Um, the God of that book, there we go again. What was I saying? Adam and Eve, the God of the okay. It'll come back again. Getting everything is coming together faster and faster and faster. It's really a great, wonderful thing. The creator of the universe sent me. hmm The creator of the universe did send me. Whom shall I send? I said, send me. Anybody who's been listening to me knows I am sent by the creator of everything to ask people questions, to evoke a new thought process that will cause people to have conversations that they never thought they'd have because they didn't know to even ask the question. Then me. I've been working outside. I mean, not outside, but inside with all the plants. I got quite a bit done. So I don't care what you think about my dirty fingernails, the way it is. There you go. That's me. See that? December 28, 1965, Texas. Nice. Mm-hmm. Okay, what's that for? I went to the Bahamas on a cruise with my mother. Who, my mother. Yeah, that was a very interesting. I truly wanted to take my mother on a cruise because I knew she'd never been on a cruise before. I wanted her to be happy for. I wanted her to experience things in her life. I wanted her. I do still wanted her to grow and not to be stagnant doing the same thing as she's always done. Same thing over and over and over. She's always made the same choices. Well, that's not exactly true. She has made some different choices. She's not out with, we all, every one of us go through our own little crap. But right now, she's blaming my sister in law of murdering my brother. What? She said Jennifer poisoned him with rat poison. Poisoned my brother with rat poison. My mother said, because my brother died, I don't know how many years ago, but he died. And ever since then, my mother has been saying that Jennifer did it because she wanted the $100,000 life insurance. How did my mother even know that she had that? And not only that, 100,000. She loved Jennifer. Loved my brother. She did. And when you got somebody like that, that you are, I mean, there ain't no amount of money, no amount of money. Because once you lose that person in your life by doing something like that, and that money's gone, but you had a great time with that person. No, Jennifer never would have done that to JR. They loved each other. She was devastated. How did my mom? Why did she say that? Where did she come up with that? She said that Rhonda, my dad's ex wife, yeah, mom's dad's ex wife, another woman named Pat, dad's ex wife, she died of emphysema because she didn't quit smoking cigarettes. Um, anyway, she her daughter Rhonda, who is now dead for I don't know what happened to her. I do, but I don't remember. Um, Rhonda told my mother that she saw a box of rat poison at their house. Okay, and did it not? Maybe they got rats. I don't even know that Rhonda saw any rat poison because, according to Jennifer, there was no rat poison anywhere. But who knows? Everybody was distraught. But why? Why would they, Rhonda and mom? I mean, mom especially. To she says it like it's an absolute true fact. She said they did not do a toxicology report. I said they always, when somebody dies, do a toxicology, don't they? Right? Make for cause of death. You got to have the cause of death. If there was poison in the system, even if they knew it was a heart attack, they still do toxicology. See what caused the heart attack? Drugs, alcohol, what? My brother was both. He'd been at the hospital, chest pains. They told him don't leave. He left against medical advice. And he died. Massive heart attack. And now, all these years later, my mother continues to say that her daughter in law murdered her son for $100,000. That's evil. And I believe that's evil. That my mother needs to apologize to Jennifer. We all do. We all need to apologize to each other. Don't live in that shit though, because there are people that are screaming right now in pain, in hunger, in all kinds of things. I'm not. I'm not getting hung up on people's feelings. I'm not getting hung up on their feelings or my feelings, other than I am on my way to just screaming tortured that have been there since the beginning. Cain killed Abel that fast. That is how fast death occurred. From being, I mean, what? Second generation already death? Second generation. Why? Is this where the mistake was made that God accepted this sacrifice, which, here we go again, was it a bloody mess? When God went And y'all know again, I'm not talking about the creator of the universe. I'm talking about the God of that book. The God of that book. When I go back to remind everybody what I'm talking about, and I forget where I was at because it went off on a rabbit trail. When they were hiding because they were naked, because they were scared, and that right there is proof they didn't know that the creator, no, that the God in that book was invisible, because they'd always talked to God in the book in the evening. Is that what it said? When it was cool, it was cooler. How hot was it? Because that's confusing. I thought everything was temperate. This was before all the water rained 40 days out of the atmosphere. This is in the beginning when everything is perfect. Why would there be that much of a difference in between the day and the night of the temperature? Right? Because if the atmosphere was saturated, not the dew point and all that, out past all that, there's different layers, stratosphere, all that. When you're leaving the gravitational area and you're going out there, then there's an area out there that the current right now, when the water evaporates, it doesn't all come back to earth. Some of it keeps going out past all this to a point of it'll never return. It's out there between the sun and the end of our, you know, just what? And if we don't change what we're doing, all the water on the surface of the earth will eventually end up out there. Because if we're not taking care of the, the greenery, the flowers, the butterflies, the bees, the soil, the bringing the oceans through the lands, if we're not doing everything that we're supposed to be doing to have paradise on earth, then eventually all the greenery is going to die, right? It's going to die because no one's taking care of it. It's going to die because of eating the guts of the earth. And that's using the guts of the earth for energy. How about that? Because we have been taking all the stuff out of the inside of the earth to use for energy, gas, oil, coal, whatever. And then the precious minerals and stuff for the magic of being able to do what we're doing right now. Because this is magic, going through the airwaves and all that kind of stuff. I mean, even in the beginning when they first started doing the copper um, telephone, all that kind of stuff, even then, to them, magic, that was magic. But right now, all this digital stuff we're doing, that's real magic. Hopefully that won't. I've got to take a shower and from being outside. I mowed some of the front yard yesterday. Oh my goodness, y'all. So all these sandburs. All of a sudden, I've been here going on 3 years. This hasn't happened before, probably because I've been mowing the yard and keeping it at bay. But it's been a minute. The front yard, all of a sudden, these sandburs, goat heads, I don't know, but the plant itself, the base of it is spread out about that far. And then all these tentacles, all these are coming up, and they got about that much of them little sandburs tightly packed on each one. And each one of them plants has, I don't know, there were so many. And I was going to dig them out, but then I decided not yet. I got too many other things that are more important right now. So I just used the bagger on the lawnmower, got most of them. I still need to finish it, but I got most of those taken care of. So that's done. And there was a reason I was telling you about that. Why was I telling you? I don't know, but I'm tired and I'm going all over the place and I know it. Um, I know, I know I'm going to go viral. It's not about me, it's about all of us, everyone, including the creator of the universe and everything else that was created. And I'm not saying that I'm right about there only being one creator of everything, because I'm not that. I'm this, I'm the created thing. And so are you. There's only one truth. I'm not God, neither are you. The creator of everything, whatever's been talking to me, whatever is going on, there is absolutely something that's not me, something outside of me, outside of you, outside of animals, anything of that sort. There's something, because it's been speaking to me and telling me all kinds of truths about the Bible, about us, about the Quran, about Judaism, Mormonism, Jehovah's Witnesses, school, states, governors, senators, president, vice president, nonprofits, homeless, police, military, mechanics, gardens, cooking, preparing, storing. The Creator sent me. Whom shall I send? I said, send me. I begged, I pleaded, I got down on my hands, begged to be sent, begged to be taught, to lead the world, because who? If not me, then who? Who am I going to follow? There's no one for me to follow. There is no one that has the plan that I have. I am the leader of the free world. We are all going to come together. I am the hub. It's right here. I got the place. I got it going. Now is the time for the business to begin. God's helping hand mysteries, because God's a mystery, not a ministry. The creator of everything and whatever else is only love, only good, no hate, no envy, no jealousy. That's why the God of that book can't be real, cannot be real. The God of that book did say, don't kill, thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not kill. There's no stipulation to that. There's no, well, unless I decide, there's nothing added on the Ten Commandments to thou shalt not kill. There's there's no saying that God said thou shalt not kill on the Mount Sinai, but then have a story in the book where God said go kill. Nope. God did not say go kill. Their God did. The God in that book may have said go kill and do all that stuff. But the creator of the universe said, thou shalt not kill. That book is a knowledge of good and evil. The fruit of the tree is also the pulp. The pulp is what they made the paper out of, that they wrote those stories down on that you're supposed to believe to the death. You're supposed to torture people to believe to the death. That you're supposed to allow people to torture you to the death. What? Wow. That is not the creator. The creator of the universe has put a lot of instructions in that book. Narrow is the way. But there's a lot of evil in that book too. Wide is the gate that leads to destruction. The knowledge of good and evil, the Bible contains the knowledge of evil. That book teaches so much evil. Teach. When you act and people are around you, they act like you, or you act like them. That's teaching, right? That's teaching. The God of that book, teaching. 48 minutes. I'm trying to make y'all be able to have a binge watch so that you're not having to wait every week. I know that soon, very soon, everyone is going to start watching these videos. I know it. I do. And not because I want to be supreme, not because I want power, not because I want money, not for anything other than I want the creator to be happy. I want the creator of the universe to have what was envisioned, because what was envisioned is going to make me happy. If the creator's happy, then I'll be happy. This is not what the creator envisioned for anyone to use the creator in vain. Netanyahu is using God's name in vain. Using stories written down as absolute proof to murder people. are the that's vanity. That's vanity. Using the Lord's name in vain, using God's name in vain is vanity. And that's what you're doing, Netanyahu. You think that you're the chosen, one to lead the chosen ones. That is not the creator of everything. The creator of everything does not choose favorites. The God in the book, Netanyahu, chose Abel over Cain. Why? What was Abel herding sheep for anyway? What was the purpose? Because the curse was, now y'all gonna go digging out through the thistles to grow food to eat. Isn't that what Cain did? We don't know what they all ate before this particular moment. We don't even know where they got their seeds from because we can't decide which story to believe. Either the whole earth grew or only a garden grew. And the rest was barren because it hadn't been watered or because what seeds hadn't been planted. What was the seeds already inside the soil? And when it rained, was it raining though? Or was just the dew point so high? Or was there so much water inside the earth that it was just so fertile that extra water was unnecessary? What? How did it go? How did that? To create the God of the book caused it to mist. That's what it says. Cause water to mist out of the ground and cause the seeds to germinate within the soil and sprout and grow. So, which story is it? A garden, or the whole earth was planted? Because one way or another, it says that the God of that book told them, hey, it's just the way it is that you're going to be digging out thistles. It means that the God of that book, where they walked out of the garden, or maybe they just, whatever, walked out into thorns. Okay, those things, those ideas, those talking, what you talk, they matter. You can't just have a story that goes from God, what, murdered the animals and then ripped the skin off? What? Wasn't invisible, so it was what, how big was God that Adam and Eve were talking to in the garden? I mean, how did that physical manifestation of God in the garden look to them? Like just a man with a penis hanging down? Because nobody was wearing clothes at this point. I mean, do you think Eve thought it weird that they both had two dinglings hanging down and she didn't? Y'all need to give this some thought. Don't make me the only one thinking about this stuff. I know I'm not. I know y'all are thinking about it too. And if you weren't thinking about it, you are now. Because we don't just have to believe something because somebody said. Oh, but there were so many um um experiments done to prove this. I mean, research was, it's all hearsay. Everything's hearsay. There's only one truth. You're not God. Well, neither are you. I know. I am not the creator of everything. Neither are you. And I don't have to do what you say because you are not the creator of everything. The creator of everything does not condone violence of any kind or hate of any kind. So, what makes people think that the creator of everything is going to be listening to y'all going to church and singing while there are people screaming for food? Do you seriously think that the creator of everything is ignoring the tortured sounds while listening to you sing? Or do you think that the creator of the universe is saying to you, stop singing and go take care of the screams so they can sing too? That is where the mind of the creator is on all the suffering. And until we that are not suffering go and take care of what is suffering, then the creator can never, ever be happy. Never. Because the creator is always working on a solution to this mess that we are all in. Because somewhere a mistake was made. And the mistake was in Adam and Eve learning evil. I said, Adam and Eve learning evil. How did they learn evil? Oh, yeah, that's right. The animal spoke to Eve. The animal. I mean, did this animal be speaking before? How come all of a sudden the animal's talking to Eve and she's not saying, hey, wait, you're talking? How are you talking? Who gave the animal the voice? Where did the animal get the voice to speak to Eve? That right there. The only way the animal had a voice to speak was God in the book, that God created an animal that could speak. Well, you think that the adversary, but the adversary was not created an adversary. It says was in the garden. The angel, the cherub, the whatever was in the garden. That's what it says. Is suddenly going to be able to inhabit an animal and speak to Eve? Y'all, all this crap is keeping us from the torture. The tortured are there still since the beginning. We are on our way. We must. It's the only way. We have to. Please join me. We're all going to suffer if we don't all do this together. It's all of us or none of us because God, the creator of the universe, will never be happy until there is no more suffering. And the only way to end world suffering is we, the people, do it. God is invisible.